Well, good morning, everybody. Good morning, Dottie. Are you ready to go for your walk? Hang on. Give me a second. Don't you jump down there by yourself. It's too far. Well, good morning, George. George is not feeling too good today. A little concerned. See if he gets his appetite back this morning. I don't know exactly what's going on, but if it doesn't get better by this afternoon, we may be vet bound. And what's today? It's the 13th of August, 2026. So happy. My bike is back and ready to go. Isn't that great, Dottie? I'm putting my stuff in the car here because we are gonna be on duty at the museum today. What do you think of that, Dottie? And I have, again, no idea what the video is going to be today. Just like yesterday. Ah, it's a beautiful morning, Dottie. Look at this. It's gorgeous. I think I'm going to be staying a little later this year than usual I was thinking originally, the original plan was I'd leave a little after Labor Day, first or second week of September. I may stay as late as early October. I don't know, depending on what's going on, maybe mid-October. I'm not feeling that usual draw to the next place like I usually do strongly. I mean, I miss the home base, but not greatly. And I think that's because I stay there. I visit home base twice a year for 2 to 3 months in the spring and 2 to 3 months in the fall. So it's, I miss courtside a lot more. I haven't been in courtside since February 1st or March 1st. So that makes sense. And I'm pretty sure this will be epic because if things go according to plan for both of us, I'll be camping next to Cheryl, my buddy, Pup Camper 58. That's her channel if you want to check it out. If we do that, we'll be making lots of videos together over the winter. Feels like we're getting plenty of moisture. I don't see that the lake is any higher, but I see this ground is, the past few days I've noticed it's kind of moist. It's not dry. And I see a little bit more green. I understand that Quartzsite got a deluge, like 4 inches of rain in an hour yesterday. I saw that on Facebook. Here goes Dottie. What shall I talk about today? Well, obviously I'll have to do a video from the little office there in the museum. But I don't know what I'm going to talk about. I'm diversifying a little bit. I think I'm going to be doing like a history story once a week when I find things that intrigue me along the lines of you never knew who this person was, but they did this amazing thing, or you've heard of this person, but you didn't realize how amazing they were. That's going to be kind of the theme. Amazing or interesting. Amazing implies, I think amazing implies good. They're historical figures. The surprises, they're worse than you thought they were. So amazing is probably not the right word. But it is going to be for most of them. If you're interested in that kind of thing, go and see a video I did a few days ago or a week ago. It's I think it's about a 16-year-old girl, and the thumbnail is like my face, and it says giant 16 on it, so you can find it there. If I remember, which I doubt I will, I'll tag it at the end of this video, but I won't remember, I don't think. Now that I say that, I probably will. Come on, Dottie. Let's go. Still have not seen any wildlife out here, even though I'm kind of living in the wild. Isn't that strange? People all over the area are spotting bears and mountain lions and all kinds of interesting things right all around me, but not here. So there's a way that mice still get into my trailer, because every once in a while, like once a week, I'll hear a struggle at 3 a.m, and that's a little mouse trapped. And sure enough, when I get up and I check the traps, there'll be one that got caught. So I just don't know where they're getting in. There was definitely a hole that I plugged up, but there's a hole somewhere else. I got to get water tomorrow or Saturday at the latest. It's like this thing beckons. Look, doesn't it look like I could turn that on and water be coming out? Well, they're not at that stage yet in the construction, so there's no water. But I do have sewer. I'm grateful for that. All I have to worry about is going to the RV park and spending $5 to get my bladder filled up. It's my water bladder that goes in the truck, and not my personal bladder, if you were wondering. Dottie, I'm thinking we need to change. You didn't give me a chance to change that out. It's important to keep that water changed out every day. Nothing good happens when it just sits. Right, Dottie? Even though it looks clean, it's not. And Dottie, I'm running out of water. It's almost on empty. See, it's struggling. I do have a 6-gallon reserve there that I can pour some water in case I actually run out. All right. So let's see if George will eat anything. I don't think so, but we'll give it a try. Here, George, does he have any interest in that? That's a good sign. That's a good sign. Dottie wants her post-walk snack. It doesn't matter if she ate a horse before we go walking. When we get back in, she demands her snack. And there you go. All right, I'll see you at the museum or in the office there or wherever. We'll see you in a minute. Well, I figured out what to talk about today, and it's in keeping with the last couple of videos on retirement, especially those of you that have commented you're thinking about retiring before age 65. One of the biggest questions you probably had is the same one I had. What am I going to do about health insurance until Medicare kicks in? And I'll talk at the end a little bit more about my specific circumstances and what I decided to do there. But before you decide you can't afford to retire and medical care is a big factor, there's something you really need to investigate. It's the Affordable Care Act marketplace. Because depending on your household income, you may qualify for a really big tax credit that reduces what you pay monthly for health insurance. In my case, when I retired the first couple of years, I was only paying about $100 a month. And there's also something here really important that people often misunderstand. This is based on your household income, not simply how much money you have sitting in your bank account in retirement or savings. There's not an asset test. So when somebody retires before 65 and has relatively modest taxable income, you may find that the marketplace insurance is considerably more affordable than you expect. But there's a second part of this that is just as important. It's when you compare the policies. Don't just look at the monthly premium. That is a big mistake. A cheap premium does not mean a cheap health insurance policy. Look at the deductible. Look at your copays and coinsurance. Look at the prescription drug coverage. Make sure your doctors are actually in the network, and then find out one number that I think is especially important: the annual out-of-pocket maximum. Under the Affordable Care Act, these plans have an annual limit of what you can be required to pay for covered in-network care. For 2026, that limit cannot be higher than $10,600 for an individual marketplace plan. And some plans have out-of-pocket maximums considerably lower. Now, that doesn't include everything. It doesn't include your monthly insurance premiums, of course. It doesn't protect you from bills for services the policy doesn't cover or from out-of-network care, but it gives you something extremely important when you're planning your retirement: a way to estimate your financial exposure if you have a really bad medical year. So if you're 60, 61, 62, like I was, and you're thinking, I'd love to retire, but I'm going to have to keep working till 65 because I need health insurance. Don't automatically assume that. Go to healthcare.gov, put in your actual information, estimate what your household income will be after you retire, see whether you qualify for the assistance and how much, and then compare the policies carefully. Not just the premium, look at the deductibles, the network, your prescriptions, your copays, and especially that out-of-pocket maximum. Because the question isn't simply, how much does my health insurance cost every month? The other question is, if something really bad happens to me, how much could this cost me in a year? If you're considering retiring before Medicare eligibility at 65, knowing the answers to those questions can totally change your retirement calculation, as it did with me. Now, let me talk about me. So I retired at 62. In a month, I was going to lose my benefits from my full-time job. And I found I could get I think it was a bronze level. There are different levels like bronze and platinum, gold. I think it's changed since then. But I got a policy that was $100 a month, and the total out-of-pocket maximum was right around $9,000, if I remember correctly. And the other thing that the deductibles, here's where deductibles are really important, because I realized that with the deductibles, if I just had a normal year where I went to the doctor a couple of times and didn't have any major illnesses, I wasn't going to meet the deductible. So I essentially, here's what's going to happen with me. If I don't have any problems, I'm going to be essentially paying out of pocket for my medical care, right? And which wasn't much because there wasn't much going on with me. But if something catastrophic happens, I know that $9,000 each year is going to be the most that I'm going to pay out of pocket. But here's another thing to keep in mind. $9,000 can turn into $18,000. Think about this. If you're unlucky enough to have something happen at the end of the year where you max out your $9,000 by the end of the year, and then stuff is free, guess what happens January 1st? It resets again, and you got to pay another $9,000. So if you're unlucky with timing, and we don't get to pick the timing mostly, because I did cheat a little bit. I had a very painful hip when I was 62. And it was diagnosed as severe arthritis in my right hip. And the treatment, unfortunately, was a hip replacement. Well, I wanted to retire. And I didn't have $9,000 sitting around. And so I waited. I did chiropractic. I did physical therapy. I had a cane. And I decided I was going to wait until I turned 65. So it was almost 3 years. People that knew me that last year I was hobbling around in a lot of pain. So I did decide on timing. And when I look back on it, could I have maybe sat down and figured out how I could have made it work back then under the Affordable Care Act? Maybe. I'm not sure. But that's what I did. And I was paying with, I think my insurance was, the sticker cost per month was about $700. And I got a $600 a month credit. So I was paying $100 a month for that insurance. And to me, mentally, it was like my disaster insurance. So if something happened where I didn't have a choice and I was gonna spend a lot of money, so after the deductibles and then the $9,000 max out of pocket, I knew where I stood. Now that I have Medicare, I pay more. I have a Medigap, a supplement plan that and a pretty robust prescription plan. So pretty out of the ordinary stuff would need to happen for me to have to pay much of anything other than the, $300 Part B deductible that the supplement doesn't cover, but it covers everything else. And I get to go wherever I need to go. And that was one of the things that made the Affordable Care Act attractive for me, because it was, I was allowed to, I wasn't stuck in a particular network. Not that it mattered because I wasn't using the network, but anyway, I thought that you would be interested in what I did between 62 and 65. And ironically, my annual healthcare expenses for age 62, 63, and 64 were far less than they are now. One, because I deferred that surgery, and two, I got lucky. So there's no denying that. So anyway, it's a short video today, but there's not much else to talk about. And I got to get back to work here in the museum. And I will see you later. Take care. When am I going to see you? I'm going to see you tomorrow.